Welcome to this introduction to Realtrac Online. This is where we can eliminate misunderstandings that can result in ruined reputations, potentially costing thousands of dollars. With Realtrac, what we can do is we can turn conversations into documentation. We provide a system where all you need is to have an internet access to Realtrac. We provide you with a login and a secure password. What actually happens here is the listing licensee creates the property details. Once we've got the property details in place, a property notice board is created automatically. And in here, in the default notice board, what we're able to store is any information that is relative to that particular property. Things like a property limb report, client's property inspection, or a certificate of title, etc. Things can be uploaded or downloaded from here relative to that specific property. All licensees have access to the notice board. You can attach any documents or scans to the notice board, and we can add any new notes as things become available to us as new information is actually occurring. We can print or email any of these notes or any of this information and email it to one of our clients or our customers, or we can email the note to all of the team. Very, very useful when we want to share information as it comes to light with the rest of the actual team itself. We also have another area within Realtrac Online where licensees can manage their own confidential information, and it's only the licensee themselves that actually sees this information. So it might be particular comments or things that they're actually dealing with relative to that particular licensee. Once again, they can attach any documents or scans or any other confidential messages into this particular part of Realtrac Online. Print or email the note for your client or your customer only. So how this all works is that we knew it had to be simple and it had to be easy to use. We also knew that we wanted it in our conversations with licensees, they really wanted it to be controlled by an independent company. We also sought legal advice on this, and what the legal people were telling us was it was really important that the information that was being entered in here, if it needed to be used in the future, that we could demonstrate that it hadn't tampered in any way, so it couldn't be manipulated. So licensees are very protective of their client details at different stages throughout the different transactions. And what we do know is they don't want to share their contact information until the time is actually right. So how this actually works is the listing agent enters the property details. All licensees add relevant conversation notes as they occur. They can add information to the property notice board. They can only see their own confidential information, their own confidential notes, so they have a secure area for that themselves. And all written offers can be uploaded into the secure confidential area as well. The agents and the companies have no access at this particular stage to this particular part of the information. And once again, only the licensees see their confidential information until the actual settlement has actually occurred. Once settlement has actually happened, the need for secrecy is no longer necessary. So what actually happens here is the agreement is settled, the listing licensee then releases the notes, and only the listing licensee has the ability to release all this information to the agent's companies. So the company that the actual licensee is working for then releases that information to the company that they're actually working for. They now have access to the audit reports. Now these particular audit reports here, the licensees have access to their own confidential audit reports all the way through, but now that it's actually become settled, we can actually search and print by property. We can search and print all the notes by licensee by property. The notes we know cannot be actually edited or deleted in any way, shape or form. Dates are entered automatically at the time of adding a note, and the dates can't be altered. So we can search and print by note category, and this really enables us to drill down into the relevant information that's actually there. So in providing this, what we actually were wanting to achieve was, if we ended up in front of the disciplinary tribunal, we're able to present the documentation, and we were able to present the documentation in such a way that we knew that it would be received as being valid. What we also thought about this was, well, hang on a sec, what about if we could actually present this information prior to it actually becoming noticed by the REAA? So, for example, a consumer was actually speaking to the real estate company and they thought they actually had a complaint, once we actually presented the documentation, we could actually then interrupt that. So what we thought was, well, hang on a sec, what about if we could actually have no consumer complaint at all? And really what that was about was getting the communication right between licensees and their clients. So removing the you said, we said conversations between licensees and clients so we can actually stop this consumer complaint right at the very beginning. So with Realtrac, what we're able to do is demonstrate integrity, minimize litigation, and validate the conversations that we're actually having. We can actually protect the licensees from litigation, and we can protect the company from litigation. We actually had a long and lengthy conversation with a legal advisor to the real estate industry. And really what came out of that conversation was, I said will no longer suffice, buyer beware no longer applies, and a clear audit trail will need to be presented as the pendulum has swung in favour of the consumer. And really what he was saying is there will be serious consequences to do with this. So with Realtrac Online, what we actually do is we actually store this information that you're actually sending out to your clients, and we can actually recall it at some stage in the future should you actually need it. So really what we're talking about was getting this right so that we did not actually have any consumer complaints at the beginning, or we're actually able to minimize the consumer complaints. There will be an annual license fee for access to Realtrac Online of $295, and there will be a settlement fee of $19.95. At this time, access to Realtrac Online is invite only, so please send an email requesting an invitation to invite.realtrac@gmail.com.